The following program is rated TV MAL, TV MALS, TV MALSV. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
What happened?
Had a slight weapons malfunction, but everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
We're sending a squad up.
Negative. We have a reactor leak here now. Give us a few minutes to lock it down. Large leak, very dangerous.
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Welcome back, everybody, to This Week in Bullshit. I'm your host, Justin Proper. We were off last week, and the week before was a lot of fun. So I'm very, very glad to finally be back. We had a nice break. Hopefully, everybody had a great Thanksgiving. But let's introduce the panel here. First and foremost, this is their first time being on stream. The assistant to the lovely Reina Creole, Fat Steven Seagal.
Hi.
How you doing?
Fat.
All right.
How are you?
All right. That's great. And speaking of which, the lovely and beautiful Reina Creole. Lorena, how are you doing? Nice avatar.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love Christmas and I love Mariah Carey. So
is that your actual I thought that was your Christmas card.
no, that's my face on Mariah Carey's body, but fits seamlessly. I love the Reface app.
It really does. I could have sworn that this is just you. Yeah, you fooled
It's
me.
not too far off.
It really isn't. It really isn't with the hair. It's not too far off at all. It really does. I could have sworn that. Okay, all right, Steven. You're going to have to get rid of the echo. But we love you being here, as well as Lorena. And speaking of somebody who hasn't been around in quite some time, Tommy, how have you been?
What's going on, Justin? Been hanging in there, nibbling some toes and going around. Lorena, thank you so much for putting that avatar and bringing out the bells for Christmas, as it were, on that picture.
You're very welcome.
Yes, it's really putting us in the Christmas spirit. Yes, indeed. And I really hope that it is Dean approved, because it is Dean approved.
What's up, guys? This stream is Dean approved.
Yay.
See, now you're getting into it. I'm so proud of you. I feel like I've inspired you to do this.
This is fun.
And you're getting better and better at it. I'm so proud, Dean.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of people who I'm proud of, he was just employed at a Korean spa. Wes Moody of the Wes Moody webcast, live from his new job.
Japanese spa. Yeah. I thought I'd change things up and I'd broadcast from like a Vietnamese brothel.
It's not even. What's funny is that I found out last night it's not even green screen.
Nope, it's real. Oh,
that is so awesome. I actually really like it.
Mr. West, we are out of towels. Can you pass us more towels?
Throw them over. That's what I'll do.
And I'd like to introduce to everybody our guest to honor, somebody who I've known for, it's been almost 2 years. And this is her first time being on the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiri Morning.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, Kiri.
Greetings.
Hey, Carrie.
Thanks for having me on the stream.
Absolutely. Yeah, live from Hong Kong.
That's me.
And last but certainly not least, our dick from the UK, Richard.
Hi, people.
Okay. And speaking of the people, let's say hello to everybody in the chat. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Yeti Cast. He's been in a lot of chats recently. I love Yeti Cast. He's a good guy. And the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He's awesome. Richard's saying hail to the chat, but not to us. I understand.
I said hail to I said hail to all of you before we started.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Thank you so much, Lorena, for the popcorn super sticker. I greatly appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you have finally been monetized. It's very well deserved.
Yes, thank you.
Woohoo!
Claps around.
Yes, indeed. Seriously, that was a fun stream too. That was a lot of fun. And Stone Cold Jeremy for a $5 super chat. Thank you, Stone Cold Jeremy. You're awesome. I'm so sad you weren't on the Council of Jeremy's stream. We're gonna have to do another one. Maybe we do it quarterly or something, or biannually. I don't know. We're gonna have to do it again because I had a great time.
Well, Justin, why does it have to be biannually?
Shut up.
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Justin's already mistaken Koreans for Japanese, so I mean, we've got to cancel him.
Hey, that's not true.
Wait, what?
That's not true.
Demonetized.
Oh God. Yeah. We haven't even gotten to the controversy yet, and now we're already in hot water. Improper.
I love that.
Hot bath water, just because Wes Moody is.
He says, "Hail Justin, hail to the great people on the panel. Hope everyone is having a good week." Yeah,
Hey, Stone Cold Jeremy.
thank you so much, Stone
thank
Cold
you.
Jeremy. MMA King says hello. Hello, MMA
Hello.
King. Good to have you here.
How are
Wookie
you?
Supremacy says, "Bring back Jenny," and he said something a little after that, saying, "For a good time, call Jenny 867-530-9."
867.
I wonder if that number actually works.
It actually does work.
Depends on
It
the
really
area code,
does.
I'm sure.
Peter
I
Robot says,
wonder
"Hello,
what
Mr.
you get when you answer it.
Hey,
Oh
you
my
know what? And everybody in the chat, just remember this. YouTube just likes to bury a lot of different streams. So if you would be so kind, remember to go ahead and share the stream out and then smash the holy hell out of that like button. You can
Thank
do
you,
it.
Tommy. I greatly appreciate that. Definitely do everything that he just said. Thank you so much. Yes, share this
Holy
video.
shit, you already
Like
got a
this
dislike.
video. Oh, yes. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's okay.
Impressive.
Yeah, go
Most
ahead.
impressive.
Leave a dislike. My feelings won't be hurt. Maybe we'll get a record this time.
You have feelings?
I have a dedicated troll leaving dislikes
I
on my
used to.
stuff.
I'm trying to grow them back. Computer Robot says, "Hello, Mr. Proper. Can you tell us a story of what you were like in the early 2000s with your ups and downs?" When I was in the early 2000s, I was in kindergarten, first grade, and I loved Harry Potter. I don't know what.
No,
else to
you were
tell
one of those. You were one of those people.
Hey, you know what? There's a reason they call it our generation Star Wars. They were great movies. They were fun.
I thought Lord of the Rings was your generation Star Wars.
No, not the same. Not the same. Harry Potter just grew a life of its own. I don't see Lord of the Rings having their own theme park stuff happening anytime soon. But Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter were around the same time. I love both of those series. So yeah, it was great.
See, the Time Machine remake just gets no love from that time.
I always assumed that the prequels were our generation Star Wars, but okay.
Well, I'm talking about you. I think you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, see, Justin, you can't talk about your ups and downs from back then because this would turn into an X-rated stream.
As a child?
Hey, I don't know what you were doing with the rise of things like cuties, man. You just can't be too sure anymore, Justin.
I assure you, nothing like that was happening. We're gonna move on. Thank you, Wes Moody, for the poop super sticker. Appreciate it.
Speaking of,
What follow are the little steps.
Shut up.
What we envisioned.
That is not me.
That's not me.
It actually is. I don't know how to make it.
Fat Steven Seagal, that's who it is.
Dean, was that you?
No.
Who was that?
That was me on my phone. I'm trying to share the link.
Oh.
Whoop.
Don't worry, we got it.
How dare you? How dare you? Means of destruction. Hey guys, what's going on? Apparently, we're having some technical difficulties at the moment.
I need to go back about 2 seconds because the early 2000s. What was up with that dial-up internet tone when we started? I haven't heard that in 15 years.
I found it. I just found it. I thought it would be kind of cool because everyone starts that boring, 30 seconds that StreamYards provides, and I'm just like, everyone does that, so I decided to make something fun of it. Somebody says he's part of the Gay to Menace. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. The gay is with you. Runner's saying, hey, guys, but okay. He's not saying hey to Lorena. I see how it is, Runner, you sexist bitch. How dare you? Jesse Miller says, like, dislike, it all helps viewer interaction. Yes, it does.
That's not
My
wrong.
goodness. Yeah. And thank you, Jesse. I greatly appreciate you being around. Stone Cold Jeremy says, yes, I'm subscribed. Notification bell is checked. And I still have to go to your YouTube page to access the stream. It hardly shows up on my feed. That is ridiculous. I hate that. I hate it. I really
that kind of stuff has been showing up more and more with a lot of different people. I mean, it's some people that I've actually been subscribed to for years, and I will not get notifications for them.
Stone Cold Jeremy is all over the place. I have seen him in virtually every stream I go to.
Hail Stone Cold Jeremy.
Yes, hail Stone Cold Jeremy, indeed. And Angela Straven says, shut up, Runner, which was, by the way, trending on Twitter, I think. Was that right, Fat Steven Seagal?
Yeah, it's also there. It's also on coffee mugs, too, and stickers now.
Indeed. All right, so let's get to our first story of the day that I'm very, very much interested in. This is going to be our lightning round of the funny shit that has happened in the last week or two, because we did miss a week. So first and foremost, is this a Florida man or not a Florida man? A driver was busted for using flashlights as headlights on his car.
Oh, brother.
That's a poverty man.
Yeah, that's a broke ass thing right there.
That's like saying people.
Is this something a Florida man would do?
Only if it, he probably not.
No.
Nah.
It doesn't sound like one?
Nah, not specifically Florida, man. This is like a broke ass thing. I've seen people in Jersey do this too.
Well, that's in Washington, so
I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of confused because in order to put the flashlights in, wouldn't he have had to brake his car more?
You would think so, yeah.
You'd have to remove his headlights at least.
And those don't look like cheap flashlights.
Right?
No, they don't.
Floodlights?
This is a do-it-yourselfer kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's
not a very
definitely
good do-it-yourselfer
Not
either.
a good MacGyver job here, no.
Well, it is a Chevy.
When you
That is a
mentioned
good
doing
point.
yourself, I couldn't help but think of the 40-year-old virgin.
Oh.
No one remembers that scene.
No.
No, we've got
haven't seen that
a new version of that. We've got a new version of that. She's called Emma Watson.
What?
Ooh.
Self-partnering.
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember that? Remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Wow, you have a short memory.
When did this happen?
Was it like 3?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Never mind.
But
Moving on.
Anyways, moving on. San Francisco banned smoking inside apartments, but pot smoking is okay. So tobacco, not okay. Smoking pot, okay. You can get the secondhand high as much as you want.
In your
Apparently,
own home.
I think that's a little strange, but I don't know.
This sounds like a Washington story, honestly. This doesn't sound like San Fran to me.
No, a Washington story was this one.
Oh, that was in Washington? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Washington story. This is
That's
San
funny.
Francisco.
I like how they're banning smoking, but did they get the shit cleared off the streets yet?
No.
Of course not.
No, of course not.
Well, why would they?
That's
Priorities.
why they have them outside, so it covers up the shit smell.
Well, you know what I find so ridiculous about this when they're actually talking about smoking, like where you can smoke and how you can do it. They're telling people what they can and can't do when they're actually adults. And I remember when I was growing up originally, the drinking age was actually 18. And then, of course, like they always do, is they moved the bar and they moved it to 21. And I've actually seen where my daughter was telling it, because my daughter is going to be turning 21 this January. She told me, and I didn't realize that they had changed it, but she said, like, even buying spray paint and buying lighters, that you need to be 21 in order to buy these things now. Like, when the hell did that happen?
See, I've heard of lighters, but paint?
Well,
That's
I always
weird.
remember they used to make you show ID to make sure you were at least 18 years old to buy spray paint.
I
Yeah,
don't
my
remember that.
son and I were watching a video that one of his favorite YouTubers or whatever, and it was r/entitled parents, and this story was a mother and her 18-year-old daughter went into a shop, and the daughter wanted to buy spray paint, but didn't have her ID with her. So the clerk says, I can't sell it to you. And then the mother turned around and says, well, then I'll buy it. Well, I can't do that because you're buying it for her, and I know you're buying it for her, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, I've never heard of this, because when I was back in Canada, I bought spray paint all the time. At any age, it was never carded.
Well, that's
bars, and I never got carded at Canadian Tire or whatever.
Yeah, Kiri, that's absolutely absurd when you think about it, because they actually had laws in place, like if you were just getting a tattoo and you were under the age, as long as you had parental consent, it would be okay. They used to have that, and it would be the same thing if you were buying spray paint. As long as the parent is there and is consenting, it's really no business of this idiot cashier who's just there to take freaking money, because that's about all they're good for. That's all they could figure out in life, is they could work a cashier. God bless them for being that intelligent to be able to work the cash register in the first place, but it's really none of their business who is really buying it, as long as they are of the age to actually make this purchase. And for them to say, well, I can't sell it to you because you're buying it for so-and-so, is absolute horseshit, because that's going to be on the person who's buying it.
The funny thing is, though, this particular one, the mother got all bent out of shape, and the daughter was super embarrassed. And then, of course, the mother turned around and pulled a Karen and said, let me speak to your manager. And the person speaking to them said, well, actually, I am the manager.
Oh, the classic line. By the way, thank you, Fat Steven Seagal, for the super chat. Sorry, Kiri, I'll get back to you in a second. For the Justin's Go Feelings Fund, hashtag Shut Up Runner. Thank you, Fat Steven Seagal, for the Canadian $2. Hey, a fellow Canadian on here, Kiri.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Fat Steven. I greatly appreciate it. Runner. Anyways, you were saying?
Oh, just that the mother was bitching about this, and the manager said, this is the store's policy, and we have security cameras, and every time one of these controlled items pops up on the register, we have to enter proof that there's ID. So we will get in shit from the corporation if we sell it without having that proof of ID. And the daughter had no issue with it. She says, it's fine. I'll just come back tomorrow with my ID. But the mother was not having any of it. And she's like, well, I'll just go to another cashier and buy it for my daughter. And the person said, well, that's fine, but you won't get it because by our company rules, I have to go over and tell other cashiers that
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous. But we do have to get to a couple of more stories. This is just supposed to be a lightning round. But it's all good. The more that you know, though, I didn't know that buying spray paint was a big deal. That's insane.
You have to think about it. We're now at the age where anything that's usually an aerosol, people will try to huff and puff, right? So you got to take it from that point of view, right? It's like, I don't care if my whole nostril looks the color pink as long as I don't feel my brain. That's pretty much the
Well, here's something that might give some people a little bit of hope. A New York City bar in COVID-19 hotspot refuses to shut down after the state yanks liquor license and declares it an autonomous zone.
Nice.
I love that. All right. I love it.
Hail to whatever bar this is. Thank you. There needs to be at least a few places where we can all have fun and be safe. And this could be one of those places. But as long as they constantly play the Beastie Boys "Fight for Your Right to Party," I'll be okay with it. That's just me, though.
Did they even give a reason for why they took his license? That's
I don't.
ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they do. It was in Staten Island, but it was just it's a long story about just how ridiculous some of the lockdown rules are. So that's Cuomo for you, I guess.
Well, we'll just end that with hail to Stumble City.
Yeah, indeed.
There's a story in Canada that's pretty sort of similar to this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Guy refused to shut down his business because either way he was going to lose money.
The
hey, you know what?
Place.
Why not?
Might as well. If enough people do it.
The actual health department came in the next day and actually changed all the locks to the restaurant. And then he got taken away and fought, what was it, 9 or 16 charges the guy got the next day after they took him away.
Holy cow.
And fined him up to almost, I think, $250,000.
Eventually, normal people are going to get tired of this shit, and then it's going to end very quickly.
Yeah,
we're getting there.
We've got that stuff here in Hong Kong too.
Parrot Head, I'm so sad about that. Yeah.
The worst part is that big businesses are allowed to stay open, which is great because they have the product. But the thing is, they're also leaving other aisles open for non-essential items like TVs. And there was one mayor in Mississauga in Ontario who actually was trying to pass the bill to prevent big business from only selling the essential items. So you could not buy a TV, you could not buy a computer. It was all the essential stuff. And I wish more people across states or provinces would do the same thing because it limits big business from taking over. Sorry for sounding like a dork.
Oh, that's okay. No. That's okay. But Dave Chappelle jorks.
You know, get your mind out of
it. Improper. Dave Chappelle dorks. Dave Chappelle nerds are gonna love this one. Florida man punches a cab driver and screams, "I'm Rick James, bitch!"
Yes, Florida represent.
What?
He said, "I'm Rick James, bitch. You white motherfuckers." And this is a real headshot of the man. I'm not joking this time. Time.
Are you serious?
Oh my god.
Oh, dang.
This is the guy who says he's Rick James, you white motherfucker.
Wow.
You can see the crazy in that eye.
That is a hell of a drug.
Surely, according to police, witnesses at Backfire Lounge stopped him from driving home from that venue due to his level of intoxication shortly before 4 a.m. on Sunday.
Lorena, you nailed it right on the head.
Pinellas County represent. I have no relatives in Pinellas County. Thank you.
Thank goodness.
Why is he blowing kisses to the photographer?
I don't know.
I was thinking that.
Maybe when he had hair, he was a charming fellow.
Oh.
I don't know.
His toupee fell off in the middle of this altercation.
I'm James, my toupee.
Right. And this one caught me by surprise. A deer stole a hunter's gun and flees into the woods. What? I'm not joking about this.
Bambi's got a gun.
Well, that one's got horns.
Oh
so.
God, I got that song in my head now.
Yeah, this is in check, and apparently,
that's hilarious.
One of the hunting dogs in his groups startled a stag in a wooded area, causing the panicked deer to run directly towards him. And the deer's antlers ripped the man's sleeve and ended up snagged on his 22 Hornet rifle, which had been slung over his left hand at the time, and it ran off into the woods. So yeah,
maybe he's tired of your crap.
Yeah, he's definitely tired of this happening. You know, he's had traumatic experiences. For sure, but I'm pretty sure you saw that coming, though.
This story, in a way, kind of makes me think of First Contact when Worf is trying to kill all the Borg, and then when the shields adapt. So it's like I just see this, and I think the deer are adapting.
Hail the deer!
I 100% agree.
Hunter was named Flood.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Dixie. Oh my god, I love it, you guys. Oh my god, Mike is just spamming hail deer. Oh my.
To be honest, though, that hunter's glad he wasn't. That hunter should be glad he wasn't killed. Look at the antlers on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I don't know. Was this the same?
Everybody
was this
says
the same girl that was on Twitch or whatever?
But they're fucking mean.
Was this the same girl that was on Twitch? You know, the deerkin?
No, this is a real deer.
In the words of Madmartigan, I can see the murder in his eyes.
That's a good one. And this man right here that we're going to talk about next, it's been a really rough year for people who are trying to find somebody to fall in love. But this man right here was not stopped as he married his sex doll after a whirlwind romance during the COVID lockdown. He said his ideas alongside sex doll Margot, who was dressed in a flowing white gown and clutched a bunch of flowers for the special occasion. Is anyone surprised? Oh, and he's a bodybuilder too, so it's not like he can't, get any women or anything. But decided to go with that. I don't know.
Is it bad that I'm more interested in the image than the title?
Yeah. Do we have a picture of Margot?
Oh, the monolith.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I don't even want to get into that. But
trollers be trolling.
Oh my goodness.
Someone's a straight up troll, though. Honestly, come on.
Of all the
it's
things
like he contacted his friends in Romania and I don't know where else. California, one showed up recently.
You know it's going to be bad when they start making AI sex dolls.
Okay, moving on to the
Cyberpunk 2077.
This one is
really
shock all of you. This one,
Sorry.
I was, there was a bunch of headlines about this story, but this one in particular took the cake by far. I'm going to brace you all for this. This is something that's going to definitely get this stream demonetized for sure. Get ready, guys.
Oh boy.
Civil rights activist Adolf Hitler district administrator.
Okay, let's be specific here. Are we talking about literally Adolf Hitler? Is this somebody
No, he's a black
with
guy.
an unfortunate name? Okay.
Which is so...
thought this was a good idea?
How unfortunate for him.
Out of all the times to actually go ahead and get yourself a name change, I think this might have been one of them, pal. I don't know. I'm just thinking. What do you call your home residence? Do you call Auschwitz?
Oh,
The Wolf Slayer. It's the Wolf Slayer. That's what it
Okay,
is.
just to inject a little bit of history in here. Namibia was also one of those regions where said Adolf Hitler was gassing people too. So a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah, well, this was just one of those situations where his dad just named him that and
oh dear,
apparently didn't realize the significance of that. And he said, it wasn't until I was growing up that I realized that this man wanted to subjugate the whole world. I have nothing to do with any of these things.
I want to call BS on that.
You know what?
Here's
what I think.
How could you not know?
Lorena, maybe I'm wrong in this, but I think his dad might have been onto something. I'm pretty sure everybody's probably seen Clerks too. Maybe he was just trying to take it back.
Oh, you're not. No.
I haven't seen Clerks, so
You don't know, Tommy. Come on.
Damn you, Tommy.
That's like Kelly and the Mule. We're trying to take it back.
Well, thank you, Tommy, for joining us. He had to leave. Thank you. No, you can come back.
No monkey business.
Anyways, I do feel bad for the guy because it's just his name, and he really should have changed his name a long time ago.
Yeah.
I feel bad for this guy too because his political opponents can literally use the excuse of he's literally Hitler.
I know, and I think he realizes that, but he still got 84.8% of the vote. So, I mean, I guess his contributions really outweigh whatever his unfortunate name is. So
his parents need their ass kicked.
I'm pretty sure they passed away.
He
But
can definitely write that book about his struggle now.
Oh man!
Seriously, he could write a best-selling book about his struggles of being named literally after Hitler. That's unfortunate.
Hitler.
Well, we'll end on a light note with the lightning round. A 7-foot sculpture has disappeared from the German countryside. This must be the monolith
it disappeared.
we're talking about. And this looks like CGI. It is not. It's completely ridiculous.
Justin, why do you have to assault that in my face?
I have a question. Are you sure it just wasn't really cold and it just disappeared through shrinkage?
I don't know what it is.
What they're failing to tell you is that the biggest whore in the state is actually hiding it.
What was the hill called?
I find it impressive because I mean over here we've got Stonehenge, but I guess in Germany they do things differently.
Stonecock.
Oh, they yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, they definitely do. Speaking of somebody who's been hiding it all these years, Ellen Page, Elliot Page, excuse me, Elliot Page, retroactively has been awarded 17 Oscars for amazingly convincing portrayals of women, and this leads to our first topic of the day. So this is something I really wanted to talk about. Elliot Page, who used to be known as Ellen Page, previously with his movies like Hard Candy and Juno, Inception, among many others. He says this: "Hi, friends. I want to share with you that I am trans. My pronouns are he, they, and my name is Elliot. I feel lucky to be writing this, to be here, to have arrived at this place in my life. I feel overwhelming gratitude for the incredible people who have supported me along this journey. I can't begin to express how remarkable it feels to finally love who I am enough to pursue my authentic self." That's very nice.
Well, until they hold on. Roll somebody, I'm not impressed.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. Just hold your horses. I've been endlessly inspired by so many in the trans community. Thank you for your courage, your generosity, and ceaselessly working to make this world a more inclusive and compassionate place. I will offer whatever support I can and continue to strive for a more loving and equal society. I also ask for patience. My joy is real, but it is also fragile. I have a problem with this next little bit that they say. The truth is, despite feeling profoundly happy right now and knowing how much privilege I carry as a straight white male, I am also scared. I am scared of the invasiveness, the hate, the quote-unquote jokes. The jokes, okay. And of violence. To be clear, I am not trying to dampen a moment that is joyous and one that I celebrate, but I want to address the full picture. The statistics are staggering. The discrimination towards trans people is rife, insidious, and cruel, resulting in horrific consequences. In 2020 alone, it has been reported that at least 40 transgender people have been murdered, the majority of which were Black and Latinx. I don't even know what that... I barely know what that means. The
made up.
Trans...
Yeah, it's made up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Spanish has this thing where it divides everything up by male and female. So they say,
well,
yeah. So anything that they like, this is a modern take on that, is saying, let's not gender the language. Let's say Latin X to remove any sense of gender.
What the hell is he doing here?
I think would be culturally incorrect and kind of racist, but hey, if they're doing it.
Brunner says every main character in Inception is male now.
Well, except for Maul, right?
That's
true.
He's
the main character.
But I think you get the point of all of this. One thing that I am very confused about is that that Elliot now has described themselves as not just going by he and them pronouns, but also is non-binary, which is another thing that I don't quite understand. But we'll start off just with this whole sentiment first. And I really would like, and this is why, Kiri, this is why I've had you on the panel, because I know that you have a lot of feelings about this. So I'm gonna give the floor to you for this right now.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I am myself a transgender woman. I came out December 2018, and I began my transition shortly thereafter. Now, I've been looking at some of the chat comments, and those of you who do know me know that I don't take any of this bullshit, and I do take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt, simply because there is a factor in it that is a very fad type of thing, especially with the woke Hollywood crowd. They all seem to be coming out as this or that or this or that, left, right, and center. And Orange Hat Reviews actually made a comment, because I really don't know Elliot Page from a hole in the wall, to be honest with you. I've never seen Juno. I did see Inception once, but for the most part, I just know this was an actor in Hollywood, and that was it. But what he had said was that he believes that this individual is doing it for the attention grab. Came out several years ago as a lesbian, then became irrelevant again, and then announced their marriage to a woman, bringing back relevance. Now they're back to being irrelevant, so they come out as trans. And one of the things that I believe, whenever it comes to this, and a lot of people in the trans community will disagree with me, and that's fine. They can feel whatever they want. I do believe that there should be a certain amount of gatekeeping when it comes to this, because there are people who will utilize this shit for their own gain, and I've seen plenty of them. My take on it, and you guys have probably heard me a gazillion times now, and I'll say it a gazillion more. Being trans fucking sucks. It's not fun. It's not cool. It's not hip. It's not edgy. And it's definitely not a political stand. I'm not doing this to become popular. I'm not doing this to make friends and influence people. I'm doing this so I don't jump off a fucking bridge. Now, anybody out there who is using this stuff to gain popularity, and possibly, like this individual, to regain relevance, all I have to say to them is, fuck you. Now, if this person is genuine, if this person genuinely is trans, I applaud them for the courage of coming out, especially in the way things are today, where there is a lot of trans hate being put out there. But if they're not, they're part of the fucking problem. Most of us just want to live our lives and be left alone, and not made a media circus or anything like that. So that's one of my biggest issues when any of these celebrities come out. Like what she said about, what he said about, even trans people misgender each other sometimes. What he said about, what the hell was that part? Promoting and all of that, that's great, as long as it's done in good faith.
I'm getting confused because we're getting a bunch of people from Geek Speak turning up in the chat for some reason.
I'm not complaining. Welcome, everybody. I greatly appreciate it.
Do you mind if I ask Kiri a question? I know that you're happy with how you are now, but do you find the way that Hollywood, who is breathing into their mic like Darth Vader?
Ain't me.
But I'm happy that you're doing it to make yourself better because you want to be yourself. Like, I respect that with 100%. But do you find that when Hollywood tries to do this in general, or anyone who's trying to gain popularity from it, they're not only diminishing you as trying to be your own self more and making it a fad rather than people just trying to be and live as they actually want to see and live as themselves? Do you think they're taking it away from you and other people in the community? Do you find it insulting in a way, or do you find it they just will never understand because they just want a bigger paycheck for the next role?
Yeah, I do. and that's one of the reasons why, that's one of the reasons why I am out myself. Is because I don't want everybody to know I'm trans. I don't want to be known as the trans girl.
But
I just, but that's I've made, a lot of videos on my channel talking about this. And it's basically to help those who are interested and those who are trans know that they're not alone. Know that, there is support if you need it. And if you're interested in understanding the trans experience more, there are people available to do that. But I'm not out promoting it and pushing it and, telling people, oh, you're a little bit different than the hell the thing is, cis heteronormative. I don't even know what the saying is now. So you must be trans.
Heteronormative?
Yeah, I think it cisgender.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, no, I get it.
And normative being normal. I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, whoever has the background noise, please stop it.
I had a second part, if that's okay. I don't want to be intrusive to you, Kiri, at all.
No, and the one of the things that I do get pissed off at with a lot of this stuff is, and this is on the other side, these people talking about biology is real, blah blah blah. None of us, at least real trans people, because yes, there are bullshit fake trans people, but real trans people, we do not deny that biology is real. It's foremost in our minds because it's the problem. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to live our lives as comfortable as we possibly can. And yeah, these people, like this whole thing about trans representation in Hollywood pisses me the fuck off, because I don't need to see another trans person on screen. I don't need to see their credits in the end of the movie unless they earned it, just like everybody else. There was a movie that got canceled a couple of years ago about a
With
trans
Scarlett
person.
Johansson.
Exactly, and that drove me batshit crazy, because she would have got butts in the seats, and she would have had, millions of people that got to see that story. And because of these trans activists saying, no, it has to be a trans person, she doesn't deserve that role, yada yada yada, it got canceled. And now we have this Elliot Page, and people are saying, well, hey, wait a minute. Elliot is now male non-binary, but has won, best female awards. Should they be giving?
Been nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars, and and this is something that you're alluding to that I completely agree with, and I think is very confusing. This whole thing called dead naming, which I understand, but most people, like regular people who aren't on the internet all the time, read a headline that says Elliot Page comes out as transgender. People will be like, who the fuck is Elliot Page?
Exactly.
And they're becoming a woman. That's what they think. And immediately, it's like, oh, they've always been Elliot Page. They've always been male. But my brain is going like, no, like when you're a celebrity like that, most people who know you as Ellen Page. So it's very important to acknowledge just the fact that you had a different name. I think that's kind of important, but that's just me talking. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, and Kiri, maybe you could maybe you possibly agree with it or not, but it always does seem that they do these things in like fads and in phases. Like during the 80s, it was the big thing for everybody to say that they were bi. And then later on, it started becoming, oh, well, I'm either a lesbian or I'm a gay man. And now everybody wants to jump on this bandwagon of, oh, well, I'm trans or I'm non-binary or I have special pronouns that you have to obey. And it just seems like everybody's just latching on this sentiment just to try to draw attention to themselves for some ungodly reason. I don't know why. And they just don't realize the damage they actually do to the communities like, like yourself, when they're doing this stuff, because they're lessening your experiences with their fake experiences, if that makes any sense.
Exactly. I'll just address the dead naming thing first. For a trans person, being dead named can be traumatic, but for somebody like Paige, this is going to happen. I mean, they became famous under their dead name, and there are credits under their dead name. My son and I just watched The Matrix last night, and there's two very famous trans people, and the credits rolled, and it said from the Wachowski brothers. Now, of course, they are now known as the Wachowski sisters, but when they made that movie, they were the Wachowski brothers. And, no amount of retro
modification,
editing or whatever is going to change that. The majority of the public remembers that The Matrix was made by the Wachowski brothers, but like for somebody like me, a nobody, there's no reason for the majority of the people to even know my dead name, let alone use it. You were going to say something?
Oh, I wanted to ask a question. Did you ever see when MasterCard posted that ad about how they're going to make all credit cards or whatever? You know exactly what I'm talking about right now. Yeah,
I do.
Did you find that insulting, or did you think they were just pandering to go, oh, you can have whatever name you want, even though it's just a credit card?
Well, see, some people seem to think this is a new thing. I actually saw that advertisement like last year. And I thought it was stupid back then. I've been now for the past 2 years trying to change my legal name. I have issues because I live in Hong Kong, and where I'm from in Canada, in Ontario, they have a legislation that you have to live in Ontario for the preceding 12 months, even though you need to be born there to even apply because that's where your birth registration is. But you need to live there for 12 months before you make the application. So I've been sitting here and, my Hong Kong ID has been changed. That was easy peasy. But I've been sitting here with a passport that doesn't match, my current self. And actually on Monday,
I can't imagine how complicated that must be.
Well, so far it's not been an issue because my Hong Kong ID does have my preferred name, or whatever you want to call it, my real name. And we use a thumbprint here in Hong Kong at the airports and stuff like that. Very quick and easy to get through immigration or customs or whatever it is. And I haven't gone anywhere foreign yet since my transition. So it's not been a big issue till now. Now, I'm planning on going to Thailand very soon to have my surgery, and I will need my passport, and that's going to be an issue. However, I have found that I can actually change my passport without having to change my birth certificate, so that's pretty good. Awesome. And I actually submit my application on Monday. But, when you have an issue like this, where your legal identification doesn't match what you're doing, and this kind of goes back to the whole thing about the trend and how doing this stuff because it's going to get you attention and it's trendy and all of that. You know, if I could have changed all of my ID 2 years ago when I began this, I would have done it in a heartbeat instantly. But it's been a pain in the ass process. Now, for MasterCard to come out with this and say, oh, well, you know, we'll let you use your preferred name. First off, I don't know how many of you have credit cards. I used to, and I no longer do. But generally, they don't check it and say, "Oh, well, hey, this is a boy's name, and you're a girl." So
no one looks at it ever.
They don't. No.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Well, unless it's Discover, because no one accepts Discover.
Yeah, I mean, even before the whole, you know, tap and go or pay wave or whatever the hell it's called.
Right.
You know, you put the card in, they run it through, they give you the thing, you sign it, and that's it. There's only ever an issue if there's an issue with the card. You know, so that I would have to say that this is more of a pandering thing to show their woke inclusivity than anything else. And not to mention, it also opens the door for a lot of credit fraud.
Yeah.
You can get the whole council of Jeremy's credit cards now on the MasterCard, and they'll never know.
Yeah, seriously, indeed. That's including Richard as well. My gosh, that'd be very scary. The one thing that I want to, I do want to go back to the main topic at hand, though, which is included in all of this. Elliot Page specifically. There is a difference between what is sort of considered the fad and what's people who actually genuinely feel this way, who happen to be celebrities, who have a platform. Caitlyn Jenner did the deed. I believe her. I believe her 100%. There are people who are like, there's no way. This athlete, this triathlon guy, like, you know, beating Africans in track and field, as Dave Chappelle put it. I believe her 100%. And Lauren Jane Grace from Against Me, for rock fans out there. Yeah, 100% believe her. This for some reason, I don't know what it is, but she's just recently talking about these some issues with gay people, with Chris Pratt, and being one of the main people to criticize the church that he's involved with and all that stuff, and literally sending this hate mob to Chris Pratt, and a lot like the Twitter SJW hate mob, that is. So I'm just really, it does put into question just this whole thing. I don't know if it's. We'll see if they actually feel, if Elliot feels that this is I don't know. I don't know if this is genuine or not. It's
like I said,
very much put into question.
If this person is genuine, and I mean, even I have a bit of an issue with a lot of these non-binary people, because I can get my head around not identifying as male or female. I can get my brain cells to wrap around that. But some of these are literally, they have to be jokes. I mean, some of the examples, moon gender or water gender.
No.
Joking.
What about
moon
the
gender,
ones that
water gender, sky gender, cloud gender? These are not fucking genders.
What about the ones that think they're half animal?
Hey, Steven. No, that's not nice.
Well, Tommy, you're not considering that. I'm making an example of the Twitch.
I think I'm talking about this phenomenon called otherkin, which are just people who don't even identify as. Look, this. Okay, this is going to get me in a lot of trouble, but I'm just gonna say it right now. Look, if you genuinely think that you are a tree, the tree people, I call them. This is my first introduction to this whole thing. People who genuinely believe that they are trees. If you believe that you are a tree, bury your legs into the soil, bury your legs into the soil, stay there and shut the fuck up and be a real tree. Be the real tree.
Don't say anything and just stand there.
That you are.
Okay, so
what if they're ants, dude?
So
like, what if they were what?
Katharine Hepburn said if she were a tree, she'd be an oak.
What if they identify as a puddle of water or a snack pack? What then?
Then they're probably part of the Wonder Twins.
I'm just going to say there are crazies in every community.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Unfortunately, because they're crazy, they're loud, and we see them the most.
Yeah, and that's what I've said on my streams a few times. Is that's one of the reasons I'm out, is to counteract these fucking nut jobs, to show most of us are just normal people trying to live our lives. We're not these loudmouth activists. Like, if you misgender me, and I mean, it's pretty obvious what pronouns you should use for me. And if you make a mistake, especially on the phone, I get that a lot, then that's fine. But if you are standing in front of me and you continuously call me he and sir, guess what? End of discussion. We're no longer speaking. And that's it. I'm not going to go, I'm going to call the police because you're being violent to me. Like, no, you're just being an asshole.
Well, that used to be the common sense method. You don't want to talk to somebody because they don't want to give you any kind of respect. You walk away from them. Because respect is not given, respect is earned. And I think that's a big problem with a lot of people in today's society. They just don't understand that.
But at the same time, Tommy, we're all raised in a certain way. Even if you do not know the person, you always greet them with that first legitimate respect of, hi, how are you? You hold the door for someone if they're coming to the door. It's the common principle of respect. If you don't know the person's pronouns and you mess up and then they tell you and you apologize, that's a common mistake. But if you're going out of your way to not accept what they're telling you they are or who they are, then that's your prerogative of disrespect, and then you deserve what comes to you.
Yeah.
But you can't demand it.
Yes, that's 100% correct. I had an experience personally with a friend of mine who's a trans female who I did not know was a trans female. I knew this person as, I'm going to make up a name, Bob, and apparently they are now Kelly. Now I'm making up names. So I knew this guy as Bob at the time. I thought that it was a guy who happened to dress up in his female roommate's clothes just for fun and everything. So I was like, okay, this is, and he at the time, I'd say he at the time because reasons I knew them as a he. That's why this is why this whole situation is complicated, because when you're looking back at past memories, this person as a different gender. So hopefully that is very understandable. And that's what makes this whole freaking topic so fucking confusing. So at the time when I met them later on, I said to her, you know what? You're one of the few dudes who can genuinely pull off wearing women's clothes, like genuinely do it and like do it well. Because she still looked like a dude very much. She was just in her transition at the time. And nobody corrected me. Not a single person corrected me. And that was not the fault of my own at all. And, if I had said that knowing that she was trans, that she was known as Kelly at that time, I probably wouldn't have said any of that. I wouldn't. But here's the thing. You can't let your friends look like an idiot. At the same time, you have to say something, which makes this whole situation so awkward, which makes the situation with Elliot Page very confusing and awkward. And no one should have to apologize for it because, we're conditioned to believe and understand this person to be one thing. And now they're going as another thing all of a sudden. It's just it's a transition for everyone else around them as well. It's not just for them. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong, though.
Yeah, I want to point out late in the chat here. This Nina in Infinity just asked, "Are cross-dressers a thing anymore, or is it just trans now?" This is actually a problem I have with the trans umbrella. Technically, cross-dressers and drag queens are now considered trans, which is absolute bullshit.
No.
Trans. Oh yeah.
Wait.
They are technically under the trans umbrella in the whole alphabet people thing.
Oh my god.
Now, granted, there are some cross-dressers who are what we call eggs. The trans people who haven't hatched yet. And I'm not making this shit up. This is things that they
call them
actually,
eggs.
They call them eggs. Yes.
There's a lot of terminology that I do not understand.
Yeah. So I mean, granted, there are cross-dressers who are eggs, and there are drag queens who are eggs. But for the vast majority of cross-dressers and drag queens, they are not. They are cis men who like to dress up as women. Drag queens in particular, generally it is literally a performance. They do this as their job.
Right.
They may be gay, but they're still men. They identify as men. They dress up as women, caricatures of women as a performance. And this is where the big problem comes in, because when you see a drag queen and then you see, like RuPaul, for example, you see RuPaul dressed up to the nines as a woman, and then you see him as a man, and then this whole conflating it with trans people, all of a sudden we're all just making it up. We're all acting. This is me 24/7. I don't go into guy mode on weekends or something like that, or when I have to go to work.
Guy mode.
Well, I'm gonna have to head out, and I'm gonna have to head out in a second. But I just wanted to say before we leave, or before I leave, I don't know why I said we.
Because you have multiple personalities.
No, it's because I've actually assimilated him into the collective, and he's part of we now.
Richard, you are now a guinea pig.
Join us.
I'm just concerned because I've live streamed with Kiri on GeekSpeak for, it feels like, what's it been, almost a year now, it feels like?
I think we're on volume 27, 28, so 28
weeks? Every week?
Yeah.
Every week?
Almost every week. Sometimes I have my issues. And
I was on once, I think.
Well, you were in the chat.
Oh.
And you're more than welcome to be on the panel.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I'm just saying, I'm kind of, before I leave, I'm kind of concerned because I know from live streaming with Kiri and talking with Kiri, I know that the woke warriors want to consume everything. I'm kind of concerned about when they absorb the furries into their collective, because then we're going to have LGBTQ YIF.
Oh man, I'm
we lost Justin.
I have connection problems here.
But I'm going to have to head off with that. It was great getting to chat with everybody again.
All right, see you, Richard.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Good
we're
hanging out
from the UK.
Night,
Take care, Richard.
Good night, Richard.
Look good in that
Bye,
sundress, Richard.
Okay, I had a technical issue here, and I missed everything he said.
Oh, he just said, "Take care." At the end,
he's
Oh, no,
worried
before
that he's worried that the woke community will eventually absorb furries, and then it will become LGBTQ YIF.
No, actually,
I thought he was
some of
talking
them
about
already
more
do.
tea and biscuits or something.
Yeah, some of them already do, and it's terrifying to me.
because they'll actually go out and get surgeries, right?
Yeah.
Where they want horns put in their head with metal
There
plates.
are
real quick.
I've seen them in Toronto.
Real quick, I'm going to get to a couple of the super chats. So there was Bikini90 from a while back. Thank you, Bikini90, for the cat super sticker. I greatly appreciate that, man. That is so awesome of you. And then Stone Cold Jeremy for $10 says, so are the SJWs now going to cancel Elliot Page since he has been stealing acting jobs from women his entire career? And what about his wife? She's no longer part of the alphabet people.
Justin, I think more importantly, she is now a he, and he is a white male.
Yep.
Racist.
I think they're still trying to debate. I think right now they're having like a debate like the way they did when they're having official debates before an election. I think they're debating whether or not they can attack Elliot or Ellen, whatever their name is.
Actually, very interesting because on the thread that I'll bring up in just a second, on that very thread, there were people who actually did go onto a weird debate, a weird tangent of whether or not like this is damaging to the lesbian community, and it really.
But how does it damage their community if she decides to go down this way and this route and have the procedure and become who they think and believe their authentic self is? It's none of their damn business.
Yeah. Here's the thing, because there are some TERFs in the LGB part of the community, and they are. I've actually seen another video recently from a subversive TERF. Lesbian who basically said, we lost a lesbian.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you fucking own them?
Yeah.
Are these your property? Like, you didn't lose anything, because if Elliot is in fact trans, they were never a lesbian in the first place. Now, to address the whole thing about Elliot's wife, do you think that they didn't have a discussion about this before Elliot came out?
They probably did, because it puts their whole relationship in jeopardy.
I would certainly and if they did, and they are still married, I would say that the wife probably has no problem with it. Now, I mean, this is all brand new for everybody. It's only been, 2 or 3 days? So I can see where all the confusion is going. But again, like somebody said there, if they've done this and they've come out and they do their thing, it's nobody else's fucking business.
Yeah, it isn't.
But they have, but to be fair, Elliot has made it everybody's business by publicly coming out.
Well, quite honestly, I think the lesbian community is going to get so upset that they're going to demand a recount.
Of what?
Now, Wookiee Supremacy pointed something out in the chat that I want to address, because this is a big sore point for me. Maps.
Oh,
they are trying to get into the LGBT community, and I will speak very confidently. I will speak for all of the LGBT community. We don't fucking want you.
Nobody wants
pedos are not welcome. Period.
And Twitter protects them like they're part of the community. That's where their doorway and Lee Stone's coming in. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that stuff bothers me because I follow that umbrella guy.
Same here.
That umbrella guy actually has had like Twitter suspend him because he makes reports and tags Twitter. Twitter is protecting these people.
They are.
Yeah.
This is the same people that like Cutie's Island. This is the same type of people. This is nasty.
I have, I have sent reports to Twitter's child protection thing, which sadly you can't just use that if you report a tweet. You actually have to go to a separate web page and link it. I've done that, and I've had a few pedo maps accounts blocked on Twitter. I think about 5 or 6 of them now. Yeah, like it's absolutely disgusting, and
hey, Mary.
It doesn't matter what you want to call it. A pedo is a pedo, and you're not welcome.
Because even if you call it a map, a minor attracted person, that's what it's called. It doesn't make it any less of a monster. And the people that defend this thing, or even think, if you have even an inclination thinking that, like when Netflix Island, that's what I call the movie, came out, you have a serious issue. There's no way in hell you are part of this community or that community. The only community you're a part of, if you're a map or a pedo, is the prison community. You know, where everyone else named Bubba is going to have their way with you, like most of those things you think you're into.
Well,
The only exception are the people that acknowledge it and get help before ever taking that into action.
Chemical castration.
I was going to point that out.
Right, yeah. I didn't mean to be totally harsh, but like the people who actually get the treatment, like the chemical castration, or are registered, that's different. That is totally different. But I'm talking about the ones they're trying to say it's normal. It is not normal. They should get rid of the age of consent. That's not normal. That is a sickening thought.
Yeah,
it really is, and I really do that. Now that we've gotten onto that tangent, I just went to the bathroom, and all of a sudden we're talking about that. My goodness. Let's just let's get back on track a little bit. The one I really want to get Wes. We haven't really heard from you, Dean and Lorena. I want to get your thoughts on before we move on to the next subject about the whole Elliot Page thing. I mean, my thing is the jokes, that she's afraid of the jokes, and I want to get your opinions first. Like she's scared. She's scared of several things. One of them is the jokes. Why would you be scared of jokes? I don't understand that.
I guess I have a lot of confusion about the whole thing, because isn't Elliot the one that put it front and center? So I guess Elliot would have to expect that there would be them, but why? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Will never hurt me. Yeah.
Oh, but this is 2020. It's sticks and stones may break my bones, but sticks and stones may break my bones, but names are literally violence.
Yeah,
but no.
That's how it is now.
But in a way, isn't that also a tell of hers, that maybe she's afraid of the names is because she's hoping it will bring out the people that want to call her names, so she can use it as a victimized platform? Have you guys actually thought about that? It might have a subliminal messaging to cause that.
No, you know what it is.
That would bring it back.
A lot of these people actually get the thing where they were being called names, and they treat it as something that's actually literally killing them, because they have no willpower to ignore these kind of things. They have no self-esteem. A lot of these people that wind up getting insulted by names. I mean, because if you grew up in the 80s and even in the 90s, you got called names a lot. Like I got called names a lot because I had really long hair all the way down to the center of my back. So I got called a lot of freaking names for for that shit. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing. You're just supposed to ignore that shit and just walk away, because it doesn't really mean anything. But a lot of people just don't have that mental capacity to be able to walk away from it. They let it subsume them and destroy them from the inside because they're mentally weak.
But I agree with that, Tom. But at the same time, how can they be called a professional actor or actress if they constantly have to deal with bad reviews? Being called a name is still kind of like getting a bad review. They're still going to use the same type of words, only they're attacking the way you are performing. You are right now also performing because you are being yourself. That is performance every day. You are always acting as yourself. So if that is who you are, you accept it. And if the people who can't accept it, you ignore them and move on. You will have your friends and family that support you. That wording right there, how she's afraid of the names, that is a subliminal, please come attack me so I can play victim. That's what I am picking up from that. And even if it's not the case, she worded that wrongly, and she's literally pointing out the things she fears, so the people who who get off on trolling will come at her. So she is making herself a target. And I'm sorry if anyone disagrees with this, but that's cowardly, victimizing oneself for everyone to defend her on an online platform that is
and that's one of the biggest problems right now is everybody is scrambling to be a victim. They want to be a victim, and it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? I'm not a victim. Yes, here in Hong Kong, I've got 0 rights in the private sector. 0. I've been evicted from my house because I'm trans. I've been fired on the spot with no compensation because I'm trans, and there's not a goddamn thing I could do about it. Oh yeah, when I came out as trans, I got fired on the spot. I said, look, I'm transgender. It won't affect because I won't be transitioning during the school year. And they literally told me, and this was in January, so well before the school year was over. They just said, "We don't want you here. Get out. Clear your desk and get out." And then my, I don't know if you guys saw my emergency fundraiser a couple of years ago, because actually it was last September, not this one just passed, but the one before. I woke up to a message on WhatsApp saying that my landlord was coming over, and when they showed up, my landlord, I've lived in this place for 4.5 years, and they walked in the front door. I've never met them before this, and she said, your kind is a danger to my property, so I want you out in 10 days.
What the? Is this a Canadian property or Hong Kong property?
Hong Kong. And there's no recourse. There's no recourse for me. But am I saying I'm a victim and you should feel sorry for me? And I went, no, okay. I'm in a fix here. Can you guys give me a hand? And that's it. And I did the best I could. But these people are trying to play the victim all the time to get like pity points or some bullshit. And it's like, you are not helping anyone by playing the victim and always being a victim.
It's discriminating to the point where it's like saying, okay, you might be the victim, people might be attacking, but why aren't you working harder to get over that thing? Were we all raised with that one mindset when we were kids? Even in Nolan's first Batman, when Bruce fell down the well. Master Bruce, why do we fall down the well? So we can pick ourselves back up again. Why has this mentality been so lost, but everyone finds it easier to be a victim? And as soon as you fail, it's okay to fail, but they forget the underlying message. You're supposed to keep trying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you never give up. If you gave up, everyone would just be bedridden for the rest of their lives. Like I commend you for that. Like you bust your ass, and I'm going to say that. Like that's a lot of respect because we don't see that much anymore, and then especially in the new generation.
It's a maturity thing, I think.
There's no maturity. It's not just maturity. It's the whole participation trophy thing. Everyone thinks, okay, try one.
No, but I agree with Dean a little bit. I think there's some truth to it. Dean, do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, in terms of maturity, I mean, you look at, especially what I agree with Fat Steven on the whole participation trophy thing. I've heard situations where it's you put your name on your for school, you put your name on it and they count that as part of your grade. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's a thing. It's ridiculous.
That's
and it's
kindergarten
stupid.
when you're actually learning how to write.
Are you serious about that? I don't remember that when I was growing up.
No, it is true because in certain schools,
when we were growing up, it didn't happen. But
I know they didn't introduce A, B, C, D, F grades until third grade, but.
Let's rephrase that.
It added
they
to
gave
the point.
bonus marks. Say if you did your name in cursive instead of normal printing, they would give you a bonus mark because you saw you learned something a little extra. Maybe that's the type of thing.
See, in my schooling, I never really had that issue necessarily, but I've heard of places where it was it would add to the points of your overall paper.
Jesus
but
Christ.
When I went to school, it was you put your name down so that they know who did the work, because otherwise you don't get a grade. That's how it is.
And now they're extra for writing your name.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's that's the bare minimum is put your name on it. It's ridiculous. And I've heard in some situations, it's it's just in terms just broader things. It's you have people where it's the mom and dad are both out working, and who's left to take care of the children? It's their nanny. And what do nannies do? Do they raise children? No. They are there and they are
monitoring.
They're monitoring, and when the child cries, they capitulate. Yeah. And look at our society now.
Unless you're Mrs. Doubtfire, then it's a whole different.
I want to address what Computer Robot just said here. I could not sue them for discrimination because in the private sector, and most schools in Hong Kong are private, there is no anti-discrimination protection for any of the LGBT. They can discriminate. Now, on the government level, yes, there is protection, but in the private sector, nothing at all. Private property, private businesses, they can discriminate, and there's absolutely no recourse whatsoever.
That's pretty sad, and
Yeah. So what did I do? I picked up and moved on, and that's the thing. Well, Hong Kong is extremely conservative when it comes to any of this stuff. If you pass as a trans person, no problem. You're gold. But I'm 6 feet tall. Damn. I have bright red hair. I'm white. And I mean, I always joke that I'm taller than most of the guys here. And the typical Hong Kong women fit in my fucking purse like a chihuahua. So I'm gonna stand out. I mean, they're tiny. They consider me.
Kiri, are you carrying a bunch of Asian women around in your purse?
Every time I put my hand in, my nails like a bunch of Hello Kitty dolls in her purse, just walking around with them.
No, but it's so she can change her nails on the fly, right? She puts it in the purse, and 5 minutes later it comes out with different colors.
I'm surprised that
they're awesome. It's like Nike.
No, I mean,
you got Chip. Let me get that.
Like I said, I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm 170 something pounds. I'm considered overweight here. I'm borderline obese by Hong Kong standards.
Good grief!
Wow.
Yes, this is borderline obese.
You're a strong grease coming, you'll get blown away.
That's because the typical Hong Kong woman is like 5'2", 80 to 90 pounds soaking wet. So yeah, I mean Asian sizes. I take an extra large or bigger most of the time in Asian sizes. Freaking bra size in Asian is D, but I'm a C cup.
Oh my god!
Kiri,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do have air holes in your purse, right, so they can breathe?
Ah, fuck them. I can always get more.
I'll just feed them some Werthers, and they're good for the day. That's how it goes.
Right, but
oh my gosh,
I do think that this is worth mentioning, though. So the jokes, I think we could all agree that they should all be embraced. I think part of it is that we are embracing this in a way, with the jokes of like, oh, sometimes it's a little bit mean, like how I said that Ellen Page is now a straight white male. All that stuff.
And Michael Cera impregnated him. Yep.
Yeah, but Michael Cera impregnated him. So Michael Cera. Yeah, Juno is now. Speaking of which, Juno is now a movie about Michael Cera getting a man pregnant, and I think that we should rebrand this as such. What do you guys think?
Because Bruno's already taken by the other guy.
Oh, that's right. That's true. That's very true. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like things like that. I mean, just like how can you see jokes like that and get like seriously offended by that? I don't. That's something that I don't understand because if anything, I don't
think so. I think it's for relevance. I think she's hoping people will attack her and she can use it as why she didn't come out and why the community is so hard and use the community as a weaponized platform. That's the way
you know what? I can actually see some people getting offended by that because I could see like the 80s porn stars getting mad and wanting their mustache back.
Super Troopers called. We want that stash.
Yeah, and that's the issue, Fat Steven, is because there is this this stigma around trans people.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said about Elliot wanting to latch onto that and use that, I can see that, and that's one of the biggest reasons I'm skeptical of them in the first place.
You don't have to always look at the person, but you can look at the words and how the words are delivered.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, and honestly, if you're afraid of jokes and criticism,
and you're an actor or actress, right then and there, it's a double entendre in my opinion. It seems like you're calling for it because you need to be relevant, like you were discussing earlier about how she's relevant. Now she's a lesbian. Now she's not relevant. Now she married a woman, or he married a woman. Okay, I'm gonna need a roadmap.
Well, at the time,
you know what I mean.
At the time, she married a woman. So.
I can see both sides of the coin, but I can see that she is using this for a different purpose, and I don't agree with it because it's making the actual people trying to get this done and actually making a serious cause. They're being used as a billboard behind someone who needs another contract.
I can't believe this entire time you're making all of these excellent points and you're fucking Rick Sanchez. That's
the whole point. I can be a 2D animated character and still make sense. Now take that and look at Twitter. These are people can't make sense.
The awesome one. Right. Awesome one says, I miss offensive jokes. It breaks the ice and helps us communicate with each other. It really can break the ice. You know, humor really is supposed to bring people together, not separate us. You know, and it's supposed to, you know, like as I was saying earlier, just like, like all the Juno jokes. You know, like in the movie, they mentioned, you know, it was a butt baby or something, if I remember correctly. I'm like, oh that has a whole new meaning now. I mean, like how do you not embrace that?
Yeah, but Justin, I mean, we've gotten to a point where everybody's just so scared of saying anything because they're afraid they're going to offend somebody and they're going to be called out and they're going to be labeled an istanism or a phobe or whatever. It's gotten to the point where people are afraid to even make a joke, even lighthearted. And it doesn't really matter if the person on the other side may or may not get offended. They're just worried about that outcome of possibly offending somebody.
I just like to say I'm a fox and deal with it.
You're a foxy man.
I'm a foxy. And the only reason why I would respond to Nina is because Justin's show, and I didn't want to overtalk and get convoluted sidetracked.
Oh no, it's all right. We should probably go on to the next topic, anyways. Though, although this was an awesome conversation, I absolutely love this, and and Kiri, I'm so glad that you've been on and we're able to help. Explain all of this, and this is something that I talked to you about the other night. I was like, I'm very curious what you think about this because I hadn't read anything that you posted. I just wanted to learn from it from the live stream, and I just want to thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Could I ask a question though? Is it offensive if I identify as a sandwich?
As long as you go through all of the procedures, then it's fine.
Well, I don't see how you could identify as a sandwich because you just wind up eating yourself.
Actually, the whole idea about all of this, I kind of look at the whole trans thing. Here's an analogy: if you if you call yourself a bodybuilder, yet you never lift a weight, are you a bodybuilder?
It depends how much they're eating. Maybe they're building their body up in a different way.
But you know what I mean? Like the people that really get on my nerves are these people that identify as such and such and expect all the respect that goes along with that. Yet they put zero effort into it. You want to be an effeminate man and wear makeup and have a full beard? Go for it. You want to wear a dress like Harry Styles? Be my guest, but don't call yourself a woman.
But they had the bearded lady back in the day when they had the old circuses and the sideshows. Not trying to sound
but that was to mock them, though.
But I'm just saying it. Never mind. I'm a sandwich.
You're a hamburger.
But I mean, if you're not going to put any effort into it whatsoever, then you really have no place to be. To be upset when somebody calls you out on it.
Very true. Speaking of which, though, calling somebody out.
The cheeseburger was more palatable.
It definitely was. Santa Claus, no, Santa, get the fuck out.
Oh, bitches.
The sandwich was less creepy as the sandwich, or the sandwich was less creepy than Santa.
Here's something that we can all. That we can all talk about, and I want to get Wes, Dean, and Lorena's takes on first because I know you guys have been awesome. Everyone's been listening. Everyone has really, embraced all of this. I greatly appreciate it. But I really do think that all of us can, gather around. By the way, nice setup, Kiri. I just now noticed the red and green looks very lovely.
It's my Christmas tree.
Oh, that's nice.
Christmas tree. Christmas tree.
Anyways, this is what we're getting for Christmas. This bullshit. Rian Johnson continues to expose his utter lack of knowledge about Star Wars, and let's go straight to the tweet. Two of them. First off, somebody had asked, "Hey, Rian Johnson, silly question. Did Rian Johnson personally title Star Wars Episode 8 The Last Jedi, or was that title handed to him?" It was me, had it very early in the writing process, so early that it dates back to 2013 with The Last Jedi in the expanded universe. Talking about a different guy. Even further back in 1981 with Marvel Comics' The Last Jedi, as we have seen. So that was one of the stupid things that he said. But then we had somebody say, "Did you ever consider Anakin's ghost showing up to speak with Luke and or Rey?" Rian Johnson says briefly for the tree burning scene, as we see. But Luke's relationship was with Vader, not really Anakin, which seemed like it would complicate things more than that moment allowed. Yoda felt like the more impactful teacher for that moment.
And that's when he stepped in it.
And I think I have I have some mixed feelings on that. Very mixed feelings.
Maybe he just didn't identify as a Sith.
Nothing would have made that movie okay. A name change wouldn't have made it okay. Swapping out Yoda for Anakin wouldn't have made it okay.
Jar Jar Binks would actually be his father.
A rewrite would have made it okay.
Yeah, somebody else rewriting it. Yeah,
not letting him touch it.
My thing is though, yes, it wouldn't have made as much sense if Anakin came in. I think Yoda coming in made more sense. I agree with that. But to say he ruined that by saying his relationship was with Vader and not really Anakin doesn't seem to make much sense. Because
did he watch any of the other previous movies?
Did he watch Return of the Jedi? Did he not?
That sounds like an asinine statement in light of those movies.
Well, like Lorena, I'm really curious about this because, on the one hand, while I do agree that having Yoda, let's just talk about this from just a writing perspective. It does make more sense that Yoda comes in. Regardless of the actual movie, putting that aside, it makes more sense. I get that. But again, what I'm saying is his relationship was with Vader and not really Anakin what kills this. That's what really bothers me about this.
So wrong.
Here's the thing.
Nuts.
Here's the thing.
You were once Anakin, Father Skywalker, my father. It literally says it in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's the thing about new canon is that it's really doing some screwy stuff. So in order to fix some plot holes with why doesn't Ahsoka or Darth Vader recognize each other, it's because he has split personality disorder. So by this logic, it somewhat makes sense because of new canon, because of bullcrap fixes that they tried to make. So just this alone, this is why I take issue with it, is because it's another fix upon another fix upon another fix. So I definitely, tree burning scene. I mean, I personally, sure, have Yoda, have Darth Vader, have Anakin. I think that either one of them would have been just fine. There was tons of issues that they ran into that they had to patchwork, and it caused even more issues. So, I mean, they had that picture of in the art where it was Anakin, it was half Anakin, half Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
In episode 6, it was just Anakin.
But
that's all it was.
But remember the prequels poster with the first one, the dual Phantom Menace.
They were doing posters where it had little boy Anakin on Tatooine, but his shadow was that of Darth Vader.
Well, it's literal foreshadowing, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, that's how I picked up on it.
Like, there's no way he hasn't seen any of that stuff and realized it's the same person.
Yeah, and Matt G, thank you for the $2 super chat. Ryan didn't even see The Force Awakens. That's a whole other can of worms with that.
I think
it wasn't even consistent with its own trilogy. That's the other thing that was really weird.
Everybody just keeps trying to make sense out of the Disney Star Wars stuff, and you know what? I mean, how come people haven't learned by now that there is no making sense out of what Disney is doing with this franchise? They don't care everything that came before it. They want to take from it. They want to pick out the parts that they want to use, and they want to just plagiarize it. And they want to put their own spin on it because they want to create something for themselves that they're going to market. And that's really all Disney Star Wars has been about, is about what they could try to market. And that's all it's been. It hasn't been about story at all.
Do you mean Rose Tico wasn't a Jedi?
Let's not even talk about the dildo monster mechanic.
Oh,
I need some blue.
That thing was
so glad
modeled.
I didn't see that moving.
It was modeled after KK's French Tickler.
You didn't see which one, Lorena?
I did not see Rise of Palpatine. I refuse to see it.
You've never seen it?
I refuse to see it.
Lorena, I'll do you one better, Lorena. I still never watched The Last Jedi.
Oh, lucky you!
You're better
than
I am.
There's no that Tommy has the
Whoa, wait,
you
what?
You all know
you
Tommy's
didn't even see that,
box, right?
I refused.
Tommy has a PO box, right?
Did you wait? Hold on a second. Did you hear about it before or something? Like, did you?
I seen The Force Awakens, and then I was pestered by a friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, who's a huge Star Wars fan. He still has some of the old figures from like the 70s in his house. He's a huge fan. He was telling me, "Oh, you got to watch Rogue One, and you got to watch Solo." So I caught both of them on Netflix, and I couldn't stand either one of them. And I already hated The Force Awakens. I was not going to waste another iota of my time watching any more of the Disney stuff. I had it at that point.
I'll say this much about Rogue One and Solo. Solo was a complete waste of time. It was a complete money grab. Rogue One was boring up until like the last 5 minutes.
Pretty much.
I still
Rogue One sucked.
I just did not like how they made Vader look inept and like he had Alzheimer's. Because you tell me he's chasing after that disc the whole time after there's rebels, and then he goes into New Hope and he's asking about transmissions that were sent to the ship. I mean, give me a break.
I'm gonna have to argue just a little bit. I know Rogue One has its problems, but I'm just still trying to figure. I enjoy the whole Bothan spies sacrificing themselves. That's technically what the whole thing was about, right? The Bothans.
No, the Bothan spies was actually for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Everybody confuses that one. The Bothan spies was actually Return of the Jedi.
Oh my God, you're right.
Rest in peace, Manny Bothans. The one.
But you know what did he was saying? I kind of agree. I didn't mind Rogue One. Yes, it did have issues because obviously they wrote and made the story well after what it was supposed to lead into. So they had to, piece things together and make it work. And
they didn't need Vader. They didn't need.
Well, they didn't, but
I disagree with you. That was the only decent parts in that entire.
They could have got rid of Vader, just put in a tracking fob, and they would have done.
No, I don't care. No.
I like seeing.
No,
Vader
it was great.
Badass.
It's great having Vader back.
That
last
why didn't he
scene.
force choke? Why didn't he force?
I don't care. I don't care. He slaughtered people at the end of the movie. It was great. I loved it. I loved it. It was awesome.
He slaughtered them the way that he slaughtered people in the prequel trilogy, though, not the way he did in the OT.
Yeah. Because you're telling me what was that? Not even a few hours later.
Are you really gonna shit on like the only good scene in Rogue One? Come on.
Here's the thing.
Well, I didn't say it wasn't good. I just said it wasn't canonically correct.
No, it wasn't.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Okay, wait. The fact that Vader is this. Vader is supposedly a Sith master, correct? He is way in the dark force, like the masters of the dark force and all that crap, right? He can force choke a bitch from a mile away, right? So how is it he can't force choke the one guy running with the plans and just keep lightsabering the rest of the guys with one saber throw? You're telling me that the one rebel guy with the half potato head helmet made it through a door before a lightsaber throw could take out a whole group of guys using lasers that he was deflecting?
I don't care. As a viewer, I don't care. I don't care.
When you think about it, when Vader used the Force choke on the Death Star 1 against, he was basically just doing that to show his power, how powerful he can be, and be intimidating. He wasn't trying to kill that officer.
No.
Because he knew Tarkin would give him shit for it.
Yeah.
He was doing it just to be threatening. Yeah. Whereas when he was going after the data tapes, first off, with all the lasers going on, if he had to force choke that guy or whatever, there was a good chance that the tape would have been lost or passed off to somebody. He needed to make sure. And he was pissed. So that's why he's in there chopping the shit out of everybody, and it was fucking awesome.
It was,
and also that's why he was super pissed at the beginning of A New Hope. When he's choking somebody, just like he's still angry because it got lost. It has to fit in with A New Hope. I don't know how you could possibly not understand that.
Somebody made the blockade runner managed to get away from them, and then they caught up to him again.
The funny thing is that there's like this YouTuber who made a joke that was like how Rogue One almost made episode 4 look like a bad episode of Cops. It's like he knows they have the disc, and he's like, where are the plans? And she's like, we're on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan, right? He's like, really? I saw you do it.
But when did they transfer the plans from whatever device it was from Rogue One to the little thing that Leia slammed into R2-D2?
Well, it was just a disc, right? What? And they probably from the transmission from the planet, from Scarif onto the disc, and then she's holding the disc. It was being recorded as it was being transmitted.
Steven,
I just wanted to give.
Did you not?
No, I
watch
just wanted to get
movie?
your puzzles. I just wanted to get. Don't call me Rian Johnson. I beat up that guy. Don't even start with that.
I didn't call you Rian.
I wanted to get your puzzled face. Yes, I have seen it. I'm not saying the Darth Vader scene is bad. I just don't agree with what it was done. I think it was thrown in last minute to attract.
Of course it was. Well, of course it was thrown in last minute. It was thrown in last minute because they wanted Vader to be baddest. They have a scene, we have James Earl Jones back. We have Darth Vader in the movie. Why not have this? Because people want to see Darth Vader be awesome again. Why not? It's a little bit of fan service, and I think it works.
I would have taken a little bit less exception with that scene if they wouldn't have had the stupid data disc in there. If they would have did anything else, if he would have just been there just chopping through them because he knew the plans were being transmitted to the ship, and they would have followed what they had set up in what became A New Hope, because originally it was just Star Wars. But if they would have followed what they had in the original movie, I would have had a less of a problem with that scene. That is the only reason I have a problem with that scene, because he's chasing after a disc, and the disc has nothing to do with the beginning of Star Wars, because he's talking about several transmissions that were beamed to that ship. And that was my biggest problem with that scene. Like, as far as the action, it's a little bit out of place for what Vader do later on, but it can be excused to an extent.
So literally, they could have gotten the transmissions from another blockade runner or another Corellian Corvette. They could have got it from a different ship. It wouldn't have to be Leia's ship that escaped. That's the continuity that I have a problem with. Vader can still be a badass. He didn't need to be in there, but he was there because he brought some kind of aspect that everyone wanted to see, a lightsaber killing people. Yay. I'm not bashing that part, but I think that Rogue One, what it was trying to deliver, had some good points and bad points. And just delivery and character writing was very horrible.
Yes, and here's the thing is that they were, let's not forget the fact, who was actually overseeing all this, right? We had Kathleen Kennedy come in and
stop saying that name. It's like Voldemort.
yes, exactly. I mean, to be honest, they had so many rewrites and so many issues, creative differences, that it was like, is there anything good we can actually do? Because, I mean, as that director, he was actually able to get something done that was at least, in terms of, the finances, it did arguably well, considering, and you look at the trailers and it was completely different.
Well, Dean, I mean, quite honestly, they did the same thing with Solo. I mean, how many times does she have that rewritten? I mean, she had the original script pretty much just trashed and completely rewritten, and then they added Darth Maul in the end of that just to try to get a little bit more attention for the movie.
Yeah.
Can I ask one thing?
I think it's almost like
trash.
Can I ask one thing with Solo though? Did anyone else find that Woody Harrelson might have been good in a Star Wars movie, but not that movie? I just kept seeing him as Woody from Cheers, constantly about to serve us a beer.
Every time I see Woody Harrelson, I always think of Woody from Cheers.
Yeah, he's like, Sam, I don't know, Sam. I don't know.
I always get confused because he doesn't have the hook on his right hand.
Wrong Disney movie.
That's what I remember him from.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have a huge
and he's not
issue.
Tallahassee, so
I didn't have a huge issue with Solo as a whole. I had an issue with it that it was Solo. If it had been random Star Wars universe movie about random Star Wars secondary heroes, it would have been fine. But because this was Han Solo's origin story, that's what made it shit for me.
I would have rather have seen a movie about Lando and loving his toaster.
Nobody asked for, nobody wanted.
I mean, Solo was a good character just because of who he was in the original trilogy. You didn't need to go in depth, and it's the same thing with Yoda. You don't need a backstory for Yoda to like the character.
And here's the thing.
Disney just doesn't understand it because they always feel like they got this thing where they got to go back to the beginning because we have to explain it. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Explaining ruins it.
Some things are best left unsaid.
Is anyone else terrified now that we have the Grogu name out there that we're going to get some kind of weird Yoda and Yaddle parody popping up on the hub? Is anyone else terrified of that?
Oh, boy.
I have not watched a single episode of The Mandalorian, nor have I got any intention because I'm done with Star Wars as long as
do you remember Droids? Do you remember Droids, Kiri?
Oh, that was a great show.
Okay,
Droids
picture
and,
Droids.
Yeah.
Picture Droids, but it's real life characters focusing around a voice actor who thinks he's relevant.
Really?
Oh, fuck.
All right, since we're discussing this,
Angel.
I have something to tell you, Justin.
You're pregnant?
No. I just saw.
You are not the father.
I just saw the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, God, so did I.
You did.
And you survived?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
Okay. Dean.
It was good, right?
Yes.
No.
It was 10 times better than the new one.
All right, then, Dean, I have one question. I have
What?
one question. Then. I don't
Robert
you think
doesn't
it would
like
have, Dean, wouldn't there have been some kind of time paradox? But by the time the ROT and the Hoth Vader met up, don't you think that would have caused a time paradox when they were actually fighting each other?
No.
Yes, I'm not joking. Yes.
Wait. Okay, I want to know, Dean, why did you? What made the original one better than the Lego one? I'm really curious.
Yeah, no, I really had to sit down and think about it. I think probably one of the biggest reasons is the fact that the new one is tied to a terrible trash trilogy, and this one is the old one is inoffensive and does not retroactively destroy things.
Plus, it had music.
Yeah, the old one is just bad. It's not.
Yeah. It's cheesy and corny, and
it was like a B-rated Star Wars story, basically.
Yeah.
It's like a cheesy horror movie with a cult following.
Yeah.
Both are not canon. None of them are canon. Neither of them are.
You just don't like B. Arthur belting out show tunes.
Bonus points. I watched this with being completely sober, no drugs, no nothing.
Wow.
I was completely clean, and I enjoyed it.
Wow, good on you.
Every time you see Rey with the yellow lightsaber, your anger rises a little bit more.
See,
See, no. Here's the thing, though. Everyone is focused on everyone who is focused on anti-Ray and whatever, and I get that. I don't like Ray either. It's just anti everything and time Lego Star Wars is not supposed to take itself seriously. Never has, never will, and. This was supposed to be serious, though. This was supposed to be serious, but that's the issue. What bothers me is just that I physically cannot sit through it. I really can't. It's really bad. Okay, it really is, and it's one of the most agonizing experiences that I've ever had. I wish that I got my hour back. This is the millions of people.
That's how I feel about the Lego Star Wars.
No.
Yes, you're not changing my opinion, Justin.
Lego Star Wars.
I'm not going to say yours.
Promotion for the game coming out. That's all it was.
I can't believe it. We were talking about this 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago, Mary and Culture were saying think about the children. I'm sorry, none of them are here, but they were saying oh, this is the first thing that they're gonna. No, I'm sorry. The think about the children thing, you could throw that out the window.
That's what they were saying.
Well, that's not completely what they were saying, but then again, there's some people with children.
That was a big part of it.
Way. However, my whole thing is I can like it for Lego humor. Like I said last time, I appreciate Lego humor. That's not the issue. The issue that I see what they did with this was that they tried to fix what they screwed up with Finn in the sequel trilogy, and that's what pissed me off. So that's just me personally. That's the part that I don't like. I can watch it. I can watch the Lego special, just completely separate it and say it's Lego fun, which it is. The jokes are like that. But no, I'm not going to get over the fact that they tried to use this to fix what they didn't do with Finn. With the sequel trilogy movies, we got the impression that Finn was force sensitive, that Finn's path most likely was going to be towards being a Jedi. They didn't do that.
Here's my biggest
do that, and they threw it in with the Lego.
Yeah,
this was special.
And is it because they didn't include it in the movie that makes you upset? Is it because they executed this poorly?
Because they didn't do it in the movie. To me, it's like a slap in the face. Why even address that?
Here's my
stick with your own canon. Why even do that?
How is the Force super glue? Can anyone tell me that? Because also another part of the special that bothered me is that Palpatine is the one that put Kylo's helmet back together just for that show and then broke apart. And Rey was able to put the test, the test ball that they use like in the New Hope when he put the visor down, using lightsaber to test. When did the Force have a super glue ability? Can someone tell me when that happened?
I don't remember ever seeing that.
Here's the thing. That's Lego logic. They goof around with stuff like that.
And they did use it in Ninjago. They called it Kaggle.
I never saw Ninjago. I don't know what Ninjago is. So
just
ninjas.
Here's my thing.
It was another Lego movie.
Here's my thing specifically about the holiday specials. The original one, the old one that everybody talks about, it takes characters that you already love and know. These new characters are not characters we love and know. They are cardboard cutouts. They walk into the room. I feel nothing.
That's a good point.
I'm not even angry. I'm not upset. I just see them and it's like they're empty. There's no spirit of these characters.
Luke Skywalker is a Ken Barbie doll.
But he has a character. You remember who he is.
Of course, you remember who they are, and you remember who they are in the Lego Star Wars movie.
No,
the other thing
name only. You know who they are in name only, and that's
I mean that's the biggest difference when you look at the sequel trilogy as compared to the original one. I mean, Luke Skywalker came as an inexperienced farm boy, didn't know anything. He didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and then as he proceeded through the films, he became somebody. Where Rey spent the course of one movie getting to the point where she was like pretty much knew it all already. I mean, seriously, there was no kind of. I mean, you talk about the hero's journey, but you talk about an arc in most movies. There was no real arc in this movie.
That's
not.
The
first movie.
Did anyone notice
that's not what I'm
Life
arguing,
Day?
though.
I know you're talking about the Legos not supposed to be.
I'm just talking about those two specials. Which one is more watchable? Which one, and then which one makes you to do drugs?
They established
what's going on.
This is the difference. This is the difference. Like Lorena so eloquently explained, is that they're trying to cover up their mistakes that they made with these movies. She said it perfectly. And that's the problem why a lot of people have a problem with these type of specials when they try to go back and recaptures. You can't capture lightning in a bottle twice. And that's what they tried to do.
I have one more question that's a little bothering me with the whole, they're trying to make the celebration day. Why is it everyone is in their original attire, but they put Poe in a stupid Christmas sweater?
That's true.
Because that's a joke. Somebody's got to wear the ugly Christmas sweater. Might as well be him.
That was throwing me off the whole time.
I didn't even think
the guy's
of that.
trying to cook a turkey in the back of the back of the Millennium Falcon. He keeps getting things broken. They made Poe Dameron, who's supposedly the best pilot they have for this
Bestest
new rebellion,
ever.
and he can't even cook a turkey.
Here's what I think of it. They're making fun of characters that we don't like.
Everyone like Poe, to a degree.
I didn't.
He's okay.
I didn't like Poe that much.
He was okay
He
in the
even got
first
turned
film.
down by BB-8.
He had
BB-8's like,
potential in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Everything was
survived
drugs,
with
but anyway.
no explanation. I didn't. I don't know. I never liked Poe that much. I had no reason to, and it was fun. They made fun of everything. They made fun of everybody, and
Except
it was
for
great.
Except for Ray.
Yeah,
Justin,
but
can we leave it to
Justin,
this
when they were doing all the original Lego movies and everything like that, and even like the games and everything, they really didn't focus so much on the lower end characters that are easy to make fun of because they're so bad. They would focus on the main characters and they would make fun of them and put them in silly situations.
Like the original Lego movie when they had the Millennium Falcon come in there.
I have one question though.
I think I know what you're talking about. Like they made fun of. I'm trying to understand what you're talking about, Tommy.
Well, they were making fun of the main characters more than they were worrying about.
They were making fun of Han Solo, Lando, and C-3PO, and they had Batman literally go into the Millennium Falcon and just abandon everybody. That was great.
That's what made those funny. They weren't picking on the characters that people didn't really care about. They were going after the main characters and they were making fun of them, and that's where the humor actually was. To put them in situations that
the Lego Stars movie makes fun of everybody. All of the main characters of the sequel trilogy too. They just make fun of them.
Can we just sum it down to this? That Disney Star Wars is like the left. They can't meme. We just leave it at that. They can't Star Wars.
They definitely can't Star Wars.
They cannot.
Sure, but I just don't look. I guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. And keep it. I don't. I just can't.
Different generations. The celebrations are different generations.
No, I'm just so shocked, Dean, that you ended up liking this whole thing. Like,
let me just start mini fires.
Why would you not? It has the original cast. It's fun.
It's not fun. It's not. It's nothing's fun about it.
Hail Life Day.
It's so bad. It's good.
Yeah. No, it's not in that category. I'm sorry. Salty Nerd just came in here again. The first time in two weeks ago. Sorry, Salty.
Hail Salty Nerd.
Hail Salty Nerd. Yes, you happened to come in again when we were talking about the difference between the old holiday special and the Lego holiday special. We just happened to talk about it again. And Salty, I'm on your side, and I will say that the holiday special is worse than the Lego one. It's worse. It just is.
Well, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, like I tell people.
Star Trek
guys are definitely haters, and it's okay as they say. Just let the salt flow, buddy.
Yeah.
Let it flow. You guys don't have a set of rules of what makes a true story. No one has. No one has a set of rules.
Cancel Justin.
No. Because Star Wars is about debate and discussion without making someone feel bad for their own opinion. That's how it works.
Thank you, Salty Nerd, for approving of my opinion.
Justin's
and
not
validating it.
Again, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, but
Look at the
You're
smile on his
entitled to
face.
your wrong opinion.
Your wrong
Smile on his
opinion.
face. Look at the
Your
smile on his face.
wrong
He's like, he
opinion.
said I
Look
was
who's
right.
by the pile of shit.
Yeah, you're
wrong.
gonna pay
You're
for
wrong.
that. You're gonna pay for that too. Just wait.
There you go. Soul Assassin says it best. So yeah, right there.
Here's a
Holiday
license.
special
We're gonna
gave
switch
us
it.
Boba Fett.
Sorry, Wes.
right there. Holiday special gave us Boba Fett. And the original holiday special had a short cartoon with Boba Fett, the original Boba Fett. And it's actually where they got the first weapon that they used in the Mandalorian clips, where it was like that, I don't know,
Really?
looking gun. Yeah, that came from the early cartoon. Because he actually
but you
had
have
that gun
to
in
sit
it.
through 15 minutes of Wookiees yelling at each other.
I know, that was great.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
You're missing the immersion, Justin. It immersed you in that world.
Okay, Justin, how about
against Wookiees?
Justin
So
probably
racist, hates Wookiees.
Okay, Justin, I need
Wookiee
to know
lives matter.
what's your opinion on the Caravan of Courage then?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You haven't
The Ewoks movies?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the Ewoks movies. I'm too afraid to watch them.
Oh, they're adorable.
I know there are two of them.
Mhm.
There are two of them. The first one has Warwick Davis in it and has, the original costume and everything. I'm really nervous about it.
Which one's the one where the family crashed on the Ewok planet?
Caravan of Courage.
That's the one where
okay.
they have the creepy meme of Wicket constantly hugging the girl with the eyes bulging out. That's where that meme came from.
See, I'm gonna have to watch those. Maybe it'll be for the 25 Days of Torture if it's bad.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the.
It's not holiday related though, right?
Torture was the last
No.
Jedi, but I digress.
What I was saying
no,
about-
that was torture for a different reason.
What I
That
was
was
saying
torture on a
about,
fundamental level.
What I was saying about the Solo movie, if they had done it like they did with the Ewoks movie, it would have just been like a Star Wars themed, adventure story that didn't really have anything to do with the main story, and it would have been fun.
He could have had a whole new villain to fight against, and how he became a rogue.
And I mean
how
the
he became a
Ewoks.
renegade.
I mean the Ewok movies. We had Wicket, and he was learning freaking English, or basic, as it were, in the movie, but we don't know when that takes place in the timeline. But it doesn't matter because it's not considered canon. It's not part of the main story. So even though we have a beloved character from Return of the Jedi in these other movies, we can still enjoy them with that character in them because it's just an alternate timeline or whatever.
Even the cartoon, man. Ewok cartoon was great because it was literally just a bunch of furry little bears running around fighting giant spiders and stuff. But it was still good because you knew who the Ewoks were. The same with the droids.
Well, see, with the Ewoks and Droids cartoons, because they take place in a totally different timeline or a totally different time than the movies, the continuity doesn't matter. And with the Ewoks cartoon, there weren't people, so they didn't have any experience with the Empire or the Rebels or anything like that. They were just living on Endor doing Ewok stuff.
Yeah,
whereas the Ewok movie, they did have, an encounter with humans, but they seem to have forgotten it or forgotten the Empire battle. We don't know. It's just a different timeline altogether.
I think they were before because that's how they got their mistrust of the larger human creatures. I think it was before that because they were actually being trapped by, I think it was the evil queen, or I can't remember her name, but she was the main villainess, right? With those weird storm-like trooper looking things.
If you guys want a good time, watch Chris Duckman's reviews of Caravan of Courage. They're pretty funny.
I never really saw Chris Tuckman as a funny person.
I haven't watched him in a long time.
Okay. I
it
don't.
porn?
I don't know.
He
I don't
makes
know what
some-
it is.
So
I don't think he's very humorous.
Well, okay, so he has a couple reviews. This might actually adjust your opinion of Caravan of Courage because he has a hilariosity review of things.
Salty,
And-
you like the Ewok movies? Okay.
But But yeah,
Salty doesn't like the Goonies, just so you know, and he
doesn't
likes
like the
Ewoks.
Goonies.
But he's not on the panel. We're not judging him.
How can you not like the Goonies?
No,
Goonies
hold on.
I think we need
I'm
to
saying
cancel
that
Salty.
he okay, you can watch it.
Cancel Salty Nerd.
No, you can watch our watch party of the Goonies from way back when on my channel, and watch that for yourself. But I'm just saying that, he didn't like the Goonies, but he liked, oh my gosh, and he's doubling down. Fuck the Goonies, that movie blows.
I believe,
but he
though,
likes the Ewok movies, though. I'm like, okay, then maybe there is some hope for that.
I
but
believe if Rise of Skywalker was all Ewoks, they probably would have done better sales.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought it was just like a bunch of teddy bear people when I was a little kid. I was just like, what are these teddy bears doing?
Yep,
this is really
their
cool.
planet.
Well, hey, Justin.
I know. But
here's a funny thing.
anyways.
Did you know originally he was going to make it a planet full of Wookiees originally?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Kashyyyk, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
for
glad
whatever
we got to see it.
Whatever reason, he changed his mind at the last minute and decided to go with Ewoks.
Well, I mean, that's another reason why I kind of like episode 3, because he went full circle with that.
The
And they
reason
decided
that
to-
the reason that he did that was because he wanted it the
Daniel
story.
James.
He wanted the story in oh Jesus.
Ewoks make my Skywalker rise. Confirmed Ewoks are the gummy bears.
Yeah, the reason that he went with the Ewoks instead of
right.
Wookiees was because
Hey, wait, hold on. Lorena, I know you got to get going, and we're going to wrap
I
up
do have
here
to
in
go.
about 20 minutes here. So, Lorena, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Okay, thank you guys for coming out tonight. Reina Creole, and you can follow me on Twitter and also follow me on YouTube. I'm on lots of different live streams, including this one. You can also catch me in about 5 minutes over on the Queen's Council on Nina Infinity's channel. And tomorrow you can catch me at 9 a.m. on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, where we are going to be discussing the episode of The Mandalorian that drops at 12:01, I believe, 12:01 Eastern Time. And you can also catch me at 12 noon tomorrow for Lorena's Lunch Table, where my special guest will be Clobbering Time. So we're going to talk comics and get to know a little bit more about this YouTuber. So thanks, you guys, for coming out. It's been a great time, and I'll see you around.
I'll be there
See
too.
you later, Spicy
All
One.
right.
Night, guys.
Good
All
night.
right. Good night, Lorena. Yeah, and I think we're about to wrap it up here. But if there's anything that anyone else had to say about what we were just talking about, go for it.
Goonies was good. Salty Nerd is wrong. And it was an amazing film. It was heartwarming and inspiring and a good old fashioned fun romp.
Do you want me to send the link for that stream to you, just to listen to while you're driving to work or something?
Does Wes look like he's in that chair from that video game movie?
I accidentally highlighted
Ready Player
him.
One? Is that what it is?
No, the one where the guy's making the game and the other guy thinks he's a robot.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Grandma's Boy.
Never heard of it.
You've never seen Grandma's Boy?
I've seen Grandma's Boy. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He looks like he's sitting in that chair, either ready to go on a roller coaster.
Right.
He's going up that hill that never goes down.
All right. I think we're about to wrap it up here, folks. Kiri, thank you for being on the channel. I greatly appreciate it, and very, very nice setup. I really like that. So tell the people what you got going on.
Well, I've got my own channel. The link is down below. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. All those links are on my channel as well. I will be doing a stream with Giovanna tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I believe it is, Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be going over PM.
Okay, so tomorrow at 10 p.m.
Yes.
Okay.
Your Friday, my Saturday.
Okay.
And we're going to be going over the Elliot page thing a little bit more there too. And I will be debuting on Ord's channel on the 9th at 7 p.m.
Ooh.
So that's going to be fun too. I have no idea what we're talking about, but I've watched a few of his streams and they're fun. So,
well, Kiri, don't worry. Ords usually doesn't know what he's talking about either. So,
yeah.
and if you can get him to stay awake,
just show him a bag of Cheetos and he'll lose interest. He'll just go totally off topic.
Yeah, if you put Ords and I in a stream together, it would just you wouldn't know what was going to happen the next moment.
The last thing, I do have a Twitch channel. And I will be streaming more on that because I finally got Overwatch, and I know everybody's gaga over Overwatch, and I'm going to do that. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing some streaming with Gothic Sushi. That should be fun.
Nice. That is awesome. Speaking of sushi, I really hope that it's Dean approved because Dean approved. Go ahead. I don't know why sushi equals Dean approved, but
sushi is good. Anyway, on my channel, we discuss movies, TV shows, and occasionally video games, and Fat Steven won't shut up. Anyway.
Stream close up.
Seriously. Anyway, back to where I was getting. Occasionally, we will talk about trash articles, behind-the-scenes drama, and it's all an attempt to discover if our entertainment is Dean approved. And things going on. We still have the one episode of Mandalorian that came out last week. We're talking Mando behind the helmet, Mr. Pedro Pascal, some of that drama. I'm a little behind on that. Gonna catch up with the next video. If I'm gonna plug anything, I will say really go out there, help our fellow YouTubers. I know specifically I just bought a book from Kai Makes Fun Stuff called Domino. It's arriving this Sunday. I also bought a hoodie from Josiah Rises, who has been completely demonetized from YouTube. Help them out, guys. Because one of these days, one of these guys might lose monetization. It's an unfortunate truth. But yeah, I have that. I am currently playing a little bit of Lego Jurassic World, which is a lot of fun. And that's pretty much it. That's my life in a nutshell. You guys had a nice day.
Hail. Steven?
Yeah.
It seems like you have something to say.
No. I was yawning, and that's what the motion track picked up. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I mean, you're really getting up close and personal for this one.
I want to make sure everyone can see my face. I'm Fat Steven. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, usually doing lunch table interviews with Reina Creole every Friday at noon. Every Tuesday night, I'm on Loki's Mischief, where we talk about a certain pop culture topic or the death of another comic, like yesterday when we discussed, or last 2 days ago, the fat fire known as Mandy, or not Starfire. Other than that, I am regular on Ords' voice channel during his Dead Island streams, some Among Us streams, and at a local Weight Watchers. I'd like to thank Justin Proper for having me on. I'd like to thank Dean for being somewhat approved, and everyone else on this panel, especially Kiri, for this wonderful time.
Fat Steven, let's not forget that both of us do Among Us. Yes, let's put that out there. Kai puts out a stream, then the two of us play with a whole bunch of other people. It's a lot of fun.
Yes, we have Among Us Mondays, where we all just yell and swear profanities for 3 hours.
Oh, invite me when you get there.
It is fun.
We also have F-Off Fridays on Ord's board channels. This guy is a very underrated YouTuber, and honestly, he has the hours. He just needs subs. So if you guys haven't subbed to him, I'm going to sim for him right now. Sub to that man. He has busted his ass putting himself last in front of other creators, and everyone deserves to be behind him to pick him up because he usually forgets where he is. So sub to Ord's.
Yeah, feel free to put it in the chat.
That just reminds me, I misspoke. It wasn't Ords that I'm going to be on with tomorrow. It's Sporking.
Well, you know, easy to
I don't know why. Okay,
There's a
I don't
bogey.
understand. I don't understand why that's a common mistake. Like sincerely,
Is it really?
Ords and
No.
Sporking, for some reason, they intertwine and just intermix where it's just all
One has
confusing.
hair.
I don't see
I
how
don't know what
anybody
One has a
it's. Oh
lot of
yeah,
hair.
it's the hair. Yeah. No.
Robo Spork.
I don't know.
Spork.
I don't know
Yes.
what it used to be. Maybe the avatars or something. I don't know. It was.
Spork
It's so
is
weird.
internet not included, like batteries not included.
Yeah, seriously. But
Dial-up
anyways,
not included.
right. But ladies and gentlemen, Tommy, somebody who hasn't been part of the stream for a long time.
I know. I've been extremely busy still cleaning up my dad's house, man. It feels like, Will Gentry said it earlier. It seems like it's been 6 months, and you know what? I can't argue with that. It does feel like that. It's only been 3, but it's been a crazy adventure, like digging up all these old finds and everything. And I have been putting out a few videos here and there of some of the finds that I'm finding, the old school toy finds. Some of them are actually truly amazing that they're still in one piece. So if you want to stop by, you can see me at Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, where usually I talk about toys, I talk about old movies, and when I do get back, we are going to go back into my retro discussions, going old school panel, where we talk about all those things that we love from years past and why they're so important to us and why we should fight for them. So,
what the hell is this?
It's very disturbing, whatever it is.
Very
Why?
that looks like somebody had one too many Waltons, but maybe that's just me.
Read the caption.
Okay then. Okay, and last but
I
certainly,
need some bleach for my eyes now, thanks.
Looks like bleach was involved there somewhere.
I think so.
on the face of the lips,
I don't think bleach alone is going to do that. I think you're going to need a few Tide Pods and then the bleach chaser to get that out.
Yeah, make sure you vape and swallow the Tide Pods.
well, speaking
I'm
of
sorry
bleach,
about my generation.
Wes Moody. No.
What? Wow.
Hail to you, my friends. I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Need a towel.
My studio is way too comfy. I almost fell asleep. Talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional car talk, gaming streams, and I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. I'm on patreon.com, and I have a lot of free content there that I can't do on YouTube because YouTube, fuck you, YouTube, but also thank you for your platform. And then I have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. Hope to see you there, my friends. Thank you.
No true words were spoken about YouTube.
Yes,
absolutely.
Wes,
Absolutely. And my name is Justin Proper. You are going to see me a lot more in your notifications, hopefully. If you ring that bell for the 25 Days of Torture. I'm going to finally be filming my video reviews for the 3 Home Alone movies that I had to endure for your amusement and for my absolute, fueling of my suicidal tendencies. Because the 3 Home Alone movies that I saw, 3, 4, and 5, were absolute garbage. The 5th one, nobody even knew came out. And I really wish that it just remained in obscurity as it should. The next one is going to be after that, probably Christmas with the Cranks, which I heard was really bad, and Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron, which I heard was god awful, and of course A Christmas Story 2, which is an insult to the whole true meaning of Christmas, as I've heard. But anyways, I hope you all have had a great time. This Week in Bullshit is going to return again, as always, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, every Thursday. Not at the beginning of, not at the end of the year, because that would be Christmas Eve and of course New Year's. So we're going to have a couple more shows, and then we're going to have This Year in Bullshit, which is going to be the last show of the year. So thank you to everybody in preparation of this. Anybody who has thought of any weird stories that we've covered on this show and stories that you would like to see us talk about on that stream, just send them in. My Twitter is at the Justin Proper. So yeah, have a great night, everybody, and live long and proper. My proper compadres, have a great day.
Well, thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home.